what an enormous moment. What
No
a
idea.
shocking thing to
You
hear.
had no idea.
No inkling.
It probably crossed my mind twice, but it's not a question you ask your husband, really.
In what, in the early years or the latter years, or?
Fleetingly, twice. I don't know.
What, do you know why you thought? I have to say, I've never even fleetingly thought, I wonder if my husband's gay.
I can't remember, I can't remember exactly.
No, but it was something,
yeah,
possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, also, hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? Now you know, you can always look back, I suppose, and go, oh, maybe that. How long did he say he'd been building up to telling you this?
Probably over the previous couple of months, I think. We'd moved to an area of Stockport, and I think I don't know. This is a conversation for a while ago. I think it had become more apparent to him over the previous months, and then someone he'd been obviously troubled by it, and someone had said, "You need to tell your wife."
And very, very hard for him to do.
Absolutely,
well.
yes, yeah.
How was your relationship, as a husband and wife? Was it a good marriage? Were you having a good relationship?
It'd been 16 years, and obviously, yeah, we'd had lots of fun, really. And I remember he'd found some, because he was a vicar, he'd found some surveys talking about happy marriages as opposed to problem marriages, and actually, at some point, we'd fill these surveys in. He'd filled it in, and he'd given me this, and we said, yeah, we think our marriage is good, and this is why we think our marriage is good. So, no, we'd had some really good times.
And then, Ruth, did you, when he said that he was gay and whatever, did you re-examine your life together? And was he really happy? And how difficult a struggle was it for him?
Yeah, it's a massive thing to hear, and obviously there's loads of questions. But at that moment, it's just, I suppose, just like an earthquake, really.
Well, how do you deal with that earthquake? What was the shock like for you?
Well, you can only deal with bits of the emotions at a time, and it's just massive. So, immediately at that time, I think the things that crossed my mind. One was, yeah, I knew he'd been unhappy, and you always think, no, not my marriage is going to work. People say your marriage is, if your marriage falls apart, it's because you've not worked at it. So, hey, we'd worked at it. I said, what's the matter? I realised that there was nothing I could do to save it. There was also a fleeting bit of relief that there was nothing, I didn't have to try anymore, perhaps. But then also the things like, what now? What does this mean? How's this happened?
What about your children?
Well, yeah, it's in 2000. I didn't actually know any gay men who were married, and I couldn't quite work out how this had happened. So how did I get to be here? And hey,
and
it's all huge.
A lot of people talk about when marriages break up, they feel this sense of failure. Did that occur to you as well? Like, oh, is this something I've done? He hasn't been able to tell me, or he's lived this lie, or did it make you feel your marriage was a sham in some way?
They're questions that you obviously ask yourself. Yeah. Yes, why did you marry me? Do you love me? Has it been a lie? What was it all about? How did we get here? And I particularly remember on our wedding day, he made a point of making the vows very loud and clear so people could hear him make the vows to me.
So Clive was in denial, really, was he? Did he know he was gay all the time?
You'd have to ask him that, because I don't... Like you say, you think you know your man everything inside out. No one does, do they? Nobody knows their husband inside out.
Well, that's the thing. I like to think I do, but then I hear
think you're
stories. Do you? But do you? Because I think there will be a lot of women watching this who say, oh, no, I know my husband inside out.
Do you think there are a lot more men like Clive out there? Indeed, maybe a lot of women who are gay as well, but find themselves in a heterosexual relationship. Do you think this is more common than... Well, why are you speaking out? That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to say, to answer to your question, I guess it's possible. Personally, I suppose when I found out, there's a group called Broken Rights, because I was a vicar's wife, so in the vicarage goldfish bowl. So in a sense, I was lucky that there was instantly this group that I could talk to. And I asked if they could find me someone else in the same situation, because I'd never heard of it. But they did, and I was able to talk to some other women.
Is that the Changing Attitudes?
No, the Changing
Charity.
Attitudes is the group that's trying to change the attitude towards homosexual men and women in the Church of England. And and I wasn't.
So there's a helpline as well that if you want to talk.
So as if you hadn't got enough to deal with or comprehend, the very fact that your husband was a Church of England vicar as well, I mean, probably heightened the whole sensitivity of this.
Yes, yeah, the issues are massive, yes.
So where are the two of you at now in your lives?
Well, Clive has, he's married, civil partnership.
Civil
with
partnership,
John,
yeah.
yes.
With John.
Okay.
And
You
there
went
we are.
along,
And
you,
you went
you attended that.
I did, yes, I did.
What did that feel like?
Well, it was a gobsmacking day, really. I went just to support them because my daughters, Rosie and Katie, were going to take them up the aisle. But I went thinking, well, it's their life now, and I would sort of sit in the background and just be a supporter, really. But Clive actually said, would you do a reading? So I did a reading.
And you and Clive still have a loving relationship, as in respect for each other and you care for each other?
Yeah, we're still good friends. We have two beautiful daughters that we've had a part in. So
Yeah.